Hey guys, this is Sabrina here. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I actually wanted to talk about my son situation right now. I haven't made a video about my son lately, actually in a long time. um, in my last video, I think I wore the same shirt. It's kind of interesting. um, I'm sorry for the house in the background. It's just a mess. It's truly a mess, and I'm extremely tired. It looks like I'm moving out the way it's set up, but I'm not moving out. Actually, we're planning to buy a new house, maybe in a year or 2 years, but we'll see. So everything is going well. I mean, my son is in maintenance. He's in maintenance right now. He started maintenance on March 8th, and that was the day of my son's that was the day of my daughter's birthday. Um, the last phase was brutal. That was delay intensification. Thank God he didn't have to go through another phase. It's usually in between delay intensification and maintenance, which is intra maintenance part 2, which is similar to part 1, which he did. And yes, he was basically 10 days at the hospital with constant fevers, on and off, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And I guess at some point, well, he did get C. diff again. And then at some point, he had um, one blood culture that was positive for a bacteria that's usually is on the human flora, and so on the skin, so which is the very common indicator of contamination on the disc in the lab, but it can be in the blood. So they treat it as such. However, after that positive blood culture, all of the others were negative, so that signaled the fact that it was an isolated event, so probably that was contamination. He looked very good despite the fever, so clinically speaking, he looks fantastic. So that's what they were telling me. I was very, very upset. I was crying hysterically. So because I didn't know what was happening. I was having these fevers on and off. I still remember them. And I was heavily pregnant too. But thank God we passed that stage and now we're in maintenance. And I have to say, these months with my daughter have been very hard because these past few months, I was like holding it in most of the time. I was crying, but I was trying so hard to keep it in, or at least to not to cry, not to beat myself up, just to be positive. But deep down, I was not okay. And once I stopped working and I was home and he was fine and he recovered and he returned to almost normalcy, I realized, everything came back to me. I suffered the most while being home during my bonding period with my daughter and not working because, like I said, I was overthinking. My mind was going to places. I was very, very upset. I was, I've grown bad feelings towards people in general, and these events, unfortunately, I'm sorry for that. I'm receiving emails, so they kind of you hear because I'm recording this on my computer as my phone is dead. Unfortunately, when you're going through this, you start being more defiant a little bit, and I would say a little bit more aggressive. But it's not for everybody. Like, not everybody acts like this. I would say that, unfortunately, these events either turn you to a better person, or they turn you to an awful person. Honestly, I truly believe that. And, like, they make you worse. um, and I truly believe that has happened to me. I find very little joy, and I know many people might comment, "Oh, your son is alive. He's fine. You should be blessed. You know, you should feel joy because he's okay." Um, that's true, but it's just the feeling of not knowing what's going to happen. It just makes me very upset. The not knowing, the not having certainty of the future. Oh my god, how many freaking emails I'm getting. They're all commercials. So, you know, that is the reason why I I have to record these videos, because I keep it in for too long and then I explode and I treat people badly, and then it's so unfair. Um, and just, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I just feel blessed that, of course, that my son is okay right now, but you never know what happens in the future. What will happen? Like, oh my goodness, these emails. I'm sorry. I cannot mute the sounds. Um, my daughter is beautiful. I love my daughter so much. Um, but I can't live without my son. My son, I want him to have the best life and a long life, and I pray to God that he will have it. You know, during this time period, I think I did suffer a little bit postpartum, but suicidal ideation was definitely happening. You know, like, sometimes I had thoughts I should, like, while holding my son's medication, you know, to actually drink it myself, to drink the whole bottle, so I can die. But then I'm thinking, this is supposed to save my son. Out there, out there, I think that I should use it to hurt myself, when it's supposed to save my son, and I'm using it to hurt myself. It's just unthinkable. So I understood that, and I understand that it was wrong, but I do, and I still sometimes have these feelings. Just I don't know. I feel like I do need to make these videos, even if no one is watching, because it's just me talking makes me feel better. Even talking on my own, by myself, like no one is listening, but I'm listening myself talking like this, because I can't talk to strangers, and I cannot talk to my parents. My parents are very supportive, but they're very, like, practical. They don't really sit down and ask, how you doing, how you feeling. They don't do that. What's going on with you? Are you feeling okay? Like, they do ask sometimes when I kind of get to the point of no return, but they don't ask, like, on a daily basis. My mother asks about the children, and they're focused on the children. Unfortunately, when there's such a focus on the children, you cannot get the parents, and they get lost on the way, because it feels like they're not the victims, because we're not. It's our children. They're going through this stupid treatment. They're the victims, or I don't like to call them victims because actually they're survivors, you know, but yeah, they are still victims because it's just horrible. You know, every day and I'm like acting like this, and I think I'm when during the treatment I was a little bit more calm, like I was more in control of my emotions because I was like in a state of shock. But now I'm like all over the place. All of my emotions are completely all over. So I'm trying to find hobbies. That's why I really really love cash stuffing and doing cash stuffing videos, and that's like a hobby of mine now, and I love doing that. I love to save for my children. I love to save for myself and my husband. So I love doing that, and looking for a better future, because you know if I don't look forward to something in the future, I'm gonna die. Like literally, I can't, because I don't have any joy in my life anymore. I don't feel any joy, even though my son is here with me, and that should be enough. It just I feel empty. I don't know why. I know how I should feel, but for some reason something is not feeling right inside of me the way I feel. Like it's just I don't know. I really don't know why. I just feel depressed. I don't know. I really want to do these videos weekly, not me ranting like this, but in general, like to talk about my son's situation, you know, how it's going. But it's going well, he's doing well. I pray to God that it continues to go well. And then my daughter, that she's healthy as well. That's, I guess, one of my biggest fears. My daughter was truly a gift from God, because if I was not pregnant already at the time when my son was diagnosed, probably I would have never had another child. And that's sad to say with my daughter being here, but that's the truth. With my son in this situation, I would have focused only on him, and I would have never had other children, like knowing myself. So the fact that my daughter was sent to me by God, like, that's a big blessing, because I would have never had another baby if I knew this was gonna happen. And I think that's the sentiment of many children, I mean, of many parents, more so when parents have children with chronic diseases, more so than cancer, which can be chronic, but leukemia, honestly, is not chronic, because if it comes back, it keeps relapsing eventually. Eventually, there wouldn't be anything to do. It will kill you. At least in children, this type of disease is pretty fast. It's not like a chronic. I think there's the chronic leukemia that affects mostly adults, and these people live like for a very long time with health issues, but they do live with it and struggle with it, but they do live with it because the leukemia is so slow. It doesn't spread, the cells don't spread and multiply as fast. I think it's not as fast. So the chemo kind of keeps it under control, but it's still there. You cannot really get rid of it, which is interesting. Instead, this particular leukemia, it's fast paced, but for some reason there is a cure rate that's pretty significant. So, but anyway, the good news is that I have made up with my in-laws. I'm very happy about that. I did suffer a lot being, you know, in a fight with them. So I'm very grateful that, you know, we rekindle. But anyway, I'll keep you guys updated. Right now, we're trying to monitor his dosage. I mean, um, it's a back and forth every 2 weeks because we have to monitor his intake of chemo and medications, how it's affecting the bone marrow. We have to monitor the bone marrow's functions and adjust the chemo accordingly. So that's what we're doing right now. But good things are happening, only good things so far. I'm also probably getting promoted soon, so that's a big win for me. I just feel like more money, more cash stuffing. So I'm happy about that. And yeah, so it just and then when you have these problems, then you start looking at the world's problems, and you're like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with the world is falling apart too. It's just I don't even understand anything that's happening right now. But anyway, when you have these problems, then everything else is like, you know, I wouldn't say relevant because it is relevant, but I'm just saying, you don't follow as much because you have all these, you're consumed with your internal sadness. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here because I really felt to discuss, I guess to vent actually. And I'm fine. I know I don't look fine. But, you know, this is something that I'm dealing with, but I'm vocalizing it. That's the important thing, even though I'm not vocalizing it with people in person. But doing a video and posting it, I think, it helps me to do that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching, I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable. If you're dealing with trauma, but that's how I feel, and hopefully it will get better. I'm grateful for my son to be alive, and I really hope he has a long life, and that's all I can hope for. And I really hope that my daughter doesn't have anything that I have to, like, that's severe. I understand that children have allergies that they can be immunocompromised in a more, not severe way, but I really hope that I don't have to worry about cancer in our lives anymore, unless it's for me. I don't really care about me, but I don't want to hear the word cancer in my life. For my children, I don't want to hear it. It's unacceptable. I can't accept the fact that this child was born with this disease. I can't believe it. I don't know. But anyway, I think I want to do some type of scheduling in which I post these maybe every Wednesday or every Friday. I don't know. I definitely want to post the cash stuffing videos on Sundays. It's not gonna be every Sunday. I'm gonna do random cash stuff if I have extra cash, but in the end, the paychecks are 2, so there's gonna be only 2 Sundays in which I'm gonna post cash stuffing a month, and maybe some extras in case I have to uncash something or do condensing or whatever, or planning. But the cash stuffing videos will be always on a Sunday. So I'm wondering if I should post these videos regarding my son inventing that I was renting, maybe on a Friday, and then we'll see. I still want to discuss the skincare. I know I made some videos about skincare, so I just want to keep doing those as well. My channel is kind of all over the place. It doesn't have a one subject. It has many subjects, and I'm sorry about that. It's all about my life in the end. So I hope it's appreciated, but I don't care about posting or creating another channel with another subject. Like, I don't care anymore. I just want to post my content and post what I want, and different and even different subjects. It's just, this channel is about me, and that's my life, and that's what I like. So just look at the folders and see what you're interested in, and that's where the videos will be, I guess. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.